Well, I'm so looking forward to October the 17th, Mallory, when you'll be coming to the Calgary Folk Club.
I cannot wait. I'm really looking forward to it too.
All right. Well, most people will know you as part of the Goddamn Souls, but you have a very big solo touring career. Currently, you're on the island, Vancouver Island, in the summer, but I see you're also going to Ontario and Quebec. You've toured like through Europe and Japan. So, how do you balance those two?
I'm so glad to hear that many people are familiar with me through the Goddamsels. That's awesome because that's actually the newer of the two projects. But we really made a big splash with a whole lot of touring. So I'm like, it's worked. That's good. Um, and as a result of that, it is a big juggling procedure, so to speak, because like you said, we're out doing a lot of stuff as the Goddamsels. I'm out doing a lot of stuff with my solo project. And it is a lot of work to be balancing both, but it actually kind of works really well. My co-band leader in the Goddamsels, her name's Freddie. She is living in Montreal, has been since before the band started. And she's also a therapist by day. So because of, other things going on in her life and also our distance kind of relationship, we can't do the Goddamsels all the time. And when we do get to, it's such a great privilege. We put out a record in 2022 and we toured that a lot. And then now we sort of have like finished the touring cycle for that album and gone more into a writing cycle with the Goddamsels, which was really perfect timing because on my solo projects front, I just released my fifth record on late September of last year of 2024. So it kind of worked out really well because as that Goddamsels touring wound down, we kicked off a new record with my solo project, and my band's been touring the last several months and kind of putting this at the forefront and getting that music out there. So I kind of like to think of it as working in seasons. Is it a season of the Goddamsels? Is it a season of my solo work? And I do a lot of other work too as a producer for other artists. And so sometimes it's a season of being kind of more behind the scenes. And I feel like as someone who does music full time, all of these different limbs of the craft make for a really like enriching relationship with music that's always interesting.
Yeah, well, and I was great at just before you said that, I was going to congratulate you on full-time musician. Like this is one of those things that's like it's not a lot of you, And so well done to find ways that you can um, be creative in all of the different ways. And your writing is really, you can't really pigeonhole you as a writer. Like you're not really pigeonholable other than great music and lovely to listen to. But genres are all kind of like you're not really worried about the genre. It doesn't seem to me. You're more concerned with telling the story and relating it to the audience. Is that
You nailed it. Like for me, music is music, and a lot of my favorite music lives somewhere between the lines. And I think about that with artists that I grew up listening to, Joni Mitchell, who kind of dabbled in folk music and jazz music and really stretched what both of those things meant. And bands like Buena Vista Social Club collaborating with like Ry Cooder and all these sorts of different acts, who were doing things kind of across genre lines that really made for some really interesting music that was unlike anything I'd heard before. And I think they weren't trying to rebel against genre boxes. I think it came more naturally. Like you said, they're trying to make good music. They're trying to tell a story. They're trying to connect someone. And if a song is begging you to take the form of a blues song instead of a folk song, or begging you to be a little jazzier, a little more country, I feel like as a songwriter, our job is to answer that call. And I've talked to a lot of industry folks through the years, for many years, who were telling me like, well, you got to pick a lane. And I thought that's funny because like the Beatles and Bowie and so many of these artists I admire like never picked a lane. And it wasn't until I actually started seeing more success and booking bigger gigs and bigger tours, then the industry folks I was talking to were telling me, no, that's why we like you and that's your story. And I was like, oh, that's so satisfying, because this whole time I wondered, am I doing this wrong, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm glad to hear that it's resonating as just good music's good music. That's what we're trying to make, right? So
You're succeeding very much, and I'm so thrilled that you're bringing good music to the Calgary Folk Club October the 17th. Tickets are now on sale, calgaryfolkclub.com, and you will be first up for Russell deCarle from originally from Prairie Oysters. So some really good songwriting that night for folks to look forward to and awesome musicality. So thanks so much for joining me, Mallory. We'll see you on the 17th of October at the Calgary Folk Club.
thanks for having me, Sue. See you then.